So first of all, I realized, okay, to get the classes, so I went to ChatGTP and I go, okay, here of all those class topics, here's the ones I liked, and so I started listing, phone addiction,
Mhm.
ideas to change the world, and then I started going, here's the classes I have. What are the classes that would work like mine that I don't teach already? And it goes, oh, sewing, so how to sewing machine, how to a wood shop class. And the other one, turning my creating my consumer math. So creating a 16-week full curriculum, but it's all business maths. So the maths you actually need in real life. So it's
Mhm.
not like a high school curriculum. It's more of a homeschoolers. This is the stuff that actually we use and you care about type thing.
Right.
But I came up with all these silly ideas. And then I go, okay, ChatGPT, could you please write me a title with this many characters, a description with this many characters, with the learner summary, with the sources and resources, with the description and a 16-week curriculum, go. And it did that for every single one of my
Right.
several hundred ideas. So then I go, okay, but here's the thing. If I've got a 16-week version, well, then most people can't spend 400 quid or 400 bucks, sorry, dollars on a full course. So, well, when you go to a store, you get the multi-pack, big packs, you get the 8 packs, you get the 4, 6, 3, and singles. So I go, okay, well, we're going to do the same with every single one of my flexes. I'm going to have it in every type of package. That's why you see the code. So there's the 16-week, right? There's the part 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the 8 weeks, and the 4 weeks. Also, this is where it gets another level of complication. I have 3 age brackets: 7 to 10, 14,
Yeah.
and 15 to 18. So I have my codes. Ones are my 10 to 7 to 10s, twos are my 11s to 14s, and threes are my 15s to 18s. Two. That's my coding system on my title
On
for
your
what
side,
I'm
right.
about to show you. When now, if you go in, it's got the age and the grade and all that stuff
Mhm.
listed in there. So the parent gets all that information inside it. But on the title, it doesn't make a difference. But for me, I've got the same class packaged 3 different ways
Yep.
for 3 different age groups.
Yep.
So one
Right.
class is now 7 different classes, if you will, right? Or 8,
Yeah. 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 Makes
right?
sense.
Which is why I have so many of that, just that one, and then so many of just that one, so many of just that one, right? Okay, so now I've got 700 flex classes. Do I schedule all of this? Now, I'm a big fan of, okay, the Outschool's like, well, schedule once a week on a Wednesday. That's a recommendation. I'm like, well, why, if I want baked beans on a Tuesday and you only sell it to me on a Wednesday, why should I not buy baked beans because I want baked beans? So I want it every day. Every
You put
single
that
one,
in there. Good
every
night.
single one of my classes, I want scheduled every single day.
So
So
you
now,
put 700 flex classes every single day.
yeah, yeah,
You're a nut.
yeah.
You're nuts.
Yeah. So how do we do this? All right. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be, an interesting thing. So 700, like you said, every single day. Let's just go just to kind of show what's going on here. So you can kind of see my flex classes on a cycle there, right? And it goes forever. And in fact, if we do my month, it'll kind of show you what kind of madness. Come on, pop up. It is a little bit slow, I've got to say. So on each one, yeah, I've got what, yeah, it's quite a lot there. That's
So you manually had to go in and put it on every day.
so now I'm not a big fan of manual, and I own an
Right.
automation, artificial intelligence company, and I am a computer scientist. So let's get into the nitty gritty, shall we? Let's go share screen again. Let's go stop. Okay, so I've created a Google Sheet. First of all, this Google Sheet has got every single one of my live classes on a sheet, and it's also got the add section. So if you go into if you go into any one of the classes and you click on this add section button, will take you straight to the class
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, yeah. So I've got all the ad sections of every class connected. I've also done the same for the flexes. I've got every single one of my flexes, every single one of the every single one of the ad sections and the where it belongs on Outschool. I've also gone and I've created a spreadsheet which has got, and now I've got a folder on my Google Drive. And on my Google Drive, it's got a folder for every single one of my flexes. And every single one of my flexes, it's got video 1, homework 1, video 2, homework 2, video 3. And in this it's got, I think, 700 lines of files. And it's got every single link to every single homework and every single thing. So it knows where everything is on my hard drive. Okay, so now I've got that. Then I go over to, and I've written a Python code. And the Python code, if I go over here and I tell it to, so I've got it one that goes forwards, one that goes backwards. So because I've got 700, I've got one that goes down the list, one that goes and they meet in the middle. It takes them a couple of days to kind of loop round. But let me just see if, there we go. So that's loading the scripts. Okay, so you can see here, this is now logged into Outschool for me. So I'm going to go that over there. And
it's creating it all for you.
All right. So what it's done is it's now gone and it's gone into the database. Well, it's logging in, accepted the cookies. Now it's logged into my database, gone to the first one on the database, and it's checking the schedule. I've told it to not do every single day, because I did every single day and I broke Outschool. I did over 20,000 sections and the website stopped working on my profile, and they told me that was my limit. So I realized I had to do every other day because they said out of 10,000 teachers, I'm the only other teacher to break the website as much as I do because of overloading it. So, okay, so it's now figured out what's already scheduled. And I've told it to do every other day and to never book more than if there's one already there, it's got to check to see if there's one within 2 days of it. If there is, it skips. So the idea is I then schedule, and I've told it to schedule 2 months ahead always. So it's going to go 2 months or 60 days ahead.
Which is what Outschool wants. Outschool wants it that far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And so what it does is, if the classes are not booked, of course they're cancelled 24 hours from now. Yeah, this has always worked for me because I don't mind that's fine for me because my program every day adds one. So this gets cancelled and then every day adds one, which is also great for marketing reasons because every day I'm adding a new thing to my 6,000 followers who are getting little updates on every single message from now on. Okay, so
you're spamming 700 messages from Joe. He's just created another 700.
I'm always on the newsletter for my followers. Let's put it that way. So it's finding no missing dates for this one, and in fact, it probably won't do because I've been running it probably not nonstop for the last few days. But I'll show you. In a minute one that actually loads or date. I realized now I've got admin. I'm thinking, okay, how do I deal with this many students, this many bookings, this many enrollments? So first of all, I have a PA that is Outschool as registered Outschool teacher. He can deal with all my students, but he doesn't like teaching as much as he enjoys doing my full-time PA. 40 hours a week is what he does for me. So
40 hours a week is your PA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's his full-time job. And even then I could probably get him more hours if I wanted. It's great. Okay, so I use him to first of all reply to all my emails. But of course, you wouldn't want to reply to 700 emails a day, would you? So how do we deal with this? Well, funnily enough, I've got an AI for that too. Let me show you. So on my account, I have this thing called Auto Gmail. I've gotten to know the owner of this company. I keep giving him recommendations, and he does upgrades on my behalf and on my recommendation. We've kind of gotten to know. It's kind of cool. And because of that, I create my account, and all it does is it's got a content folder. So it will look at all the content that I put into it, my website, all my classes, how much they cost, all my information, my bio, my description, my profile. Also, it then reads every email I've ever written on Outschool and all the drafts. So it understands answers to every reply I've ever written to every parent. And it takes all that information. And so whenever an email comes in, it will create an automatic reply and save it to the draft. And so when I wake up in the morning, if I have 50 emails, all of them are written, I just skim read them, double check I'm happy with all the details, hit send. Wow. So AI is actually writing very good replies, 99% of the time on my behalf. And all I do is just obviously check. In fact, I get my PA to check. And if there's anything odd or off the topic, or something of negativity to deal with, obviously it goes and gets red flagged and comes up the ladder, and we deal with it on a much more private type level. But anyway, so that's how I deal with huge amounts of emails. But then, of course, I thought, well, my live classes, why do teachers always just book one class in 1 hour, and if that class doesn't book, then they're done? It's kind of like it's a waste of time. Why don't teachers book 5 classes or 10 classes on 1 hour, and then if a class gets
Outschool doesn't let you, though.
Why not? They do.
Oh, I guess they do. It just tells you that you've already got a class scheduled at this time, right?
It tells you there's a conflict. So let me show you this. So what I realized was I work from 11 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, Monday to Friday. And there's certain times I take off. In fact, what I did is I actually created a schedule of my weeks of my schedule. So there we go. Available. So I created Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's kind of my calendar, if I will. If I wanted to, I could take a month or for a week off. I just come in here and say unavailable, and it knows that I'm not available for that. So then what it does is I'll show you a really fresh one, which is next month, so to speak. So when I'm scheduling, my idea is 5 classes per hour. Is my kind of average.
So at 1 o'clock, you can have 5 live classes or 5
live classes. Now, every single one of my flex classes are scheduled every other day, so that's separate. All right. So that's all. See, all my flex classes all scheduled, and it just goes through, and we've got the giant list there. Okay, so once I get rid of the flexes, you can kind of see what happens here. I have absolutely tons of flexes. Now, this is kind of, what it should be. This is one where I've loaded up a bunch of 5-day classes across the board.
And so if one gets booked, then you cancel the others?
Yes, correct. Absolutely. So then, of course, you ask, okay, well, what happens if someone books 2 at the same time? Or, what happens if, while I'm sleeping on a Sunday night, you have 10 people that want to come and
good luck getting 10 learners.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, Outschool give you 24 hours to transfer and to move things. So there's my plan B. But you know what? Actually, I thought, well, if I get an email the second a learner books, well, then I've actually got the perfect little program. So 2 seconds. I wrote a little Python program. And in fact, where are you? There you are. There we go. Okay, let's put it there. And if I click on that, is that going to pop up where I want it to?
So your computer, when it gets the email, figures out what class it is and what shuts down the others?
So it's you just exactly it. So right now it is logging onto the website. Now it is logging onto the email system. I happen to know there are 2 unread new learner emails because I left them there, especially so I could show you. It's now opened up those emails, found the links of the classes, gone to the link of the classes, found the conflict of the class, and then it'll delete the class. If there is a conflict that it can't delete, it'll stall. And this one is one it'll say, and it'll go, sorry, can't deal with that conflict. And it'll send me a message saying there's a conflict. But at the end of the day, it'll literally go through and then delete every single one of the conflicts that are there. And instantly as the emails come in, the classes get removed. Now, also, if I wanted to, say, for example, do a quick check on my calendar, I've actually got what's called my conflict remover. And this actually just goes into my schedule, and it'll look at every single class over the next 2 months, and it'll see if anything has got anything with a learner in it, will kill all the other classes. So this one right now is going to go to my schedule page. Yeah, click. Go to my schedule page. And then it'll start going through my schedule page and looking for learners. In fact, you'll just see it running there.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
Turns off the flex. So that removes all my conflicts. So now I can have, I never worry about conflicts. Also, I have another little program that I wrote with Python that I turn it on and I just type in the URL of the class that I want, and it will go and kill all the conflicts of that as well. I wrote in another little Python program that will then go and cancel all the classes of any given date and times that I ask it to. So if I want to go on holiday for the 30th of September and I want a week off, rather than going and deleting 1,000 classes manually, I just go delete September till the 3rd off from 11 till 2 p.m. from this date to this date, and I'll go in and just cancel. So now, so that's given me the ability to do all that. Now, the final one was the actual scheduling of my live classes. And really, that was this was my last kind of piece de resistance, if you will, and the one I was kind of most proud of, because let's see, where are you? They are. Okay. All right. So this one's going to ask you for the date that you want to start your bookings and things. I go, okay. It's now created. It's gone into. Okay, I'm going to slow that down. So just explain what it's done. So I told it to a date. It will then go through my entire schedule, look for every class that's enrolled, every gap, anything that's got an enrollment, it won't book any more classes on. Anything that's got less than 5 classes, it will book up to 5 classes per hour. So it'll go through my entire schedule, find all the holes, all the gaps, and then go, okay, here's all the gaps. Then it goes over to my database and goes, of all my classes, ChatGTP figures out which are 2 days, 1 day, 5 days, and then fills them in randomly with the gaps. I also told it the top 10 classes that are most popular to use 50% more than all the others. So it books those classes more regularly.
Yeah.
And then the final bit was telling it it then creates this schedule. So this schedule looks like that. As kind of a spreadsheet, and it's got the date, the time, what slot number it is, what class title it is, and then where the URL is. And so it takes this. Now there's 13. I've got 1,300 classes. I've got it scheduling in the last 24 hours, which is all of November. I'm kind of doing all of November right now, getting ahead. And once I hit play on this, it will go in and not just schedule the, where are you? But it goes in and it literally knows, there's 5 days here. So it'll book the 5 days. Or it goes, this is a once a week one. So it'll book all the Mondays for 5 weeks. Or it'll go, this is a 16-week course and do all of that. So it's now obviously figuring out the schedule, and it takes that data. So it's now it knows my schedule, it fills the schedule, it books it. Oh, the last one, and this is the really, really good bit. This is my favorite bit, is if I go into there and I look at, let's go classes, where are you quickly? So every single one of the flex classes has been pre-posted, and click on. So when it was creating the schedule and scheduling every single one of these flexes, it would then go into the flex, go into the scheduler, and schedule every single week of all the flexes, beginning to end, with the homework and the link. And it says, congratulations on reaching on the last week. It's got a welcome on the first week. And all of that's pre-published for every single flex for the next 2 months. So as soon as a enrollment comes in, I don't have to worry about, is that student been taken care of? Has that email been looked at? Has the video been posted? Right. Every single one's been posted. And as soon as they reply back, GTP also kicks in when I reply. So there's always an instant reply, making Outschool happy. And that's how I've automated 700 freaking flexes. And my income is now pretty much 60% flex. And my hours have dropped massively, and my rate's gone up. And I'm doing, even though, because flex classes count as 0 on the hours, right? When you go to your stats, it's, hours taught, that all the flexes are 0. And I've been making thousands off the flexes. And the crazy thing is, I've got probably 5 flex classes, 16-week flex classes that I'm making every week. I'm just staying 2 weeks ahead. So I've actually employed another person. My dad just retired, 40 years on the police force. He's now my presentation maker. He does all my researching, all my presentations, all my prep work for every class, and puts like 5 hours of prep into my 1 hour of recording. And then I've got an editor who I pay to do the editing. So I just specialize on what I get good at. And I'm doing that and smashing all this out. So the idea is, and long story short, my next company, the AI company, to kind of back all this up as well. So anyway, that is in a nutshell the tools that I've created. And I'm thinking about, I might even market them to, as an automation tool, a scheduling system for other teachers. But it's just a lone teacher scheduling 10,
so many years.
10, it takes 2 minutes for each one times 10, in a week. So that's 20 minutes. Let's call that half an hour. Even if you're doing 10, most teachers are doing like 40. So we're talking, an hour or 2 of scheduling a week. And I can do months of scheduling in a day without you ever looking at or just hitting a button. You know what I mean? It's like I just saved hundreds of hours off of that.
Yeah, you did.
But then my big scream of upscaling is kind of silly and scary for most people too. But no risk, no reward.